Hello friends, welcome to Tech Nuggets. Today we will discuss about file handling in Python. So let's get started. File handling in Python involves operations like reading, writing and manipulating files. Python provides built-in functions to work with the files, making it more easy to interact with data stored in various file formats. Let's see basic file operations. Python open function is used to open a file. The function returns a file object which provide methods and attributes to work with the file. This is the syntax of the open method. First you have to provide the file object. Open function takes two parameters, file name and mode. There are four different modes to open a file. R stands for read. This is the default mode. It opens a file for reading and it gives error if the file does not exist. A stands for append. It opens a file for appending, creates the file if it does not exist. W stands for write. It opens a file for writing and it creates the file if it does not exist. X stands for create. It creates the specified file and returns an error if the file exists. T stands for text. This is the default value for text mode. B stands for binary. It is for binary modes like images. To open a file for reading, you can also specify only file name. Syntax is first you have to provide file object and in the open method you have to specify only the file name. Above code is similar to the below code. In the below code we have specify R and T, the default modes for reading and text. Now we will see how we can close a file. Always close a file after you are done using it to free up system resources. Syntax is first you have to provide file object and then close method. For example, file.close. File is the file object. The better practice for file handling in Python is using with statement. It automatically closes the file after the block of code is executed, even if an error occurs. For example, in this piece of code, we are opening the file using with statement and reading its content using read method. Now we will see how to read a file. There are different ways to read a file. You can read the entire content of file at once using read method. This method is useful when you want to load the entire file into memory. Now we will see how to read a file line by line. The first way is, if you want to read a file line by line, you can use a loop to iterate over each line. This method is memory efficient, especially for large files. The second way is using readline method. It reads a single line from a file and is useful when you want to process one line at a time with additional logic. We will see how to read a specific number of characters from a file. To read specific number of characters, you can pass the number of characters you want to read as an argument to the read method. In this code snippet, we have passed 10 characters as an argument to the read method and it reads this is a. This is useful when you only need a specific portion of a file such as header or fixed length record. Now we will see how to write into an existing file. Write to an existing file, you can use open function with an appropriate mode. There are two different modes, W and A, to write to an existing file. W mode opens the file for writing and overwrites the existing content. If the file does not exist, it will be created. For example, in this code snippet, we have passed W as mode to the open function and it overwrites the content of the file with the content which we have given. This is a new line and this will overwrite the existing content. So you will get this part only as the output. A mode opens the file for writing in append mode. it adds new data to the end of the file without deleting the existing content. If the file does not exist, it will be created. For example, in this code snippet, we are writing this is an append line. This will be added to the end of the line. So these two lines will get added into the existing file and it prints the output. Now we will see how to create a new file. We have to use xmod with the open function to create a file. It returns an error if the file already exists. For example, in this code snippet, we are creating file2.txt inside the create folder. Let's see how to delete a file. Before attempting to delete a file, it's good practice to check whether the file exists or not using os.path.exist, and inside that you can give file path. This helps avoid errors if the file does not exist. To delete a file, use os.remove function from the os module. To delete a folder, you can use os.rmdir method. You can only remove empty folders. Hope you understood file handling in Python. If you find this video helpful, then please hit the like button and subscribe to Tech Nuggets for more insightful content. See you in the next video.